My name is Andrew Geddes. I'm Professor of Migration Studies at the European University Institute and Director of the Migration Policy Centre. One of the key policy challenges is really this relationship between migration and development. We know, it's very well established in research literature, that development can actually lead to increased migration. What the EU is now trying to do through what it calls the external governance of migration is try to change the flows of migration from developing countries, particularly in Africa. One of the principal instruments it's developed to achieve that is the EU Trust Fund for Africa, which tries to focus EU actions and initiatives on developing countries in Africa. One of the key issues with the Trust Fund for Africa is the relationship between short-term and long-term objectives. For instance, the EU member states themselves may be wanting to reduce migration flows, but that's not necessarily the priority of countries in Africa, who have a wide range of other concerns that are of interest to the governments and citizens of those countries. So the tension between longer and shorter term objectives that lies at the heart of the EU Trust Fund for Africa, and also the relationship between migration and development more generally. So as the EU tries to balance this relationship between short-term and long-term, what it has to think about, in effect, is the way that its interventions shape or change behaviour. That can be of migrants, it can also be of what we call governance systems. And I think this is an area where we need to understand more what kinds of effects do particular kinds of interventions have. We have this idea that development aid itself could lead to increased migration. There's quite good evidence for that in the research literature. There's also emerging evidence that different kinds of interventions have different kinds of effects. And what that's pointing us towards is the importance of what could be called governance, as mediating this relationship between development interventions and migration. What do I mean by that? Well, that's how political systems are organised, from local to national to regional to international level. And that's an area where we know less to understand the mediating effects of these structures. And for initiatives like the Trust Fund for Africa to be effective or to achieve their objectives, it's important to know more about how governance systems mediate the relationship between migration and development.